Rocky may be the best sports movie of all time, but with the up-and-coming release of Creed 3, this franchise has more films than the Skywalker saga. Boy, that's a lot of training montages. But to keep everybody safe and straight, we're gonna start all the way back at the beginning of the story and bring you all the way up to Creed's finale. Let's rock and roll. I'm Joey C. Let's go! Once upon a time in the magical land of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, there was one robber Rocky Balboa. A low-level boxer who thinks he could have been a contender, and he didn't even rat out his dock worker friends. Instead, he collected for a loan shark. Since it was 1976, reigning champ Apollo Creed scheduled a fight in Philly, only to have his opponent break his jaw. So he decided to give a local the big chance. That local was Rocky. He gets a trainer, Mick, and meets a nice woman named Adrian. Adrian has a brother who's a bit much, named Paulie. We'll hear more about him and his odd love for robots later on. No one ever went the distance with the champ, but Rocky's superpower is that he's made of granite. He lost, but he still went the distance. No rematch though.
Man, I won, but I didn't beat him.
Psych, there's totally a rematch in Rocky 2. Despite being beaten so bad, one of his retinas is considering giving up. The ghost Rocky wonders if Apollo went easy on him, while the champ is dogged about Rocky going the distance and wants to prove it was a fluke. It wasn't. Not only wasn't it a fluke, but despite fighting the first 14 rounds with his non-dominant hand to protect his eyeball, before dramatically switching back to southpaw, Rocky won! And he wants Adrian to know all about it. By Rocky 3, Rocky is living the life of a champ, having defended his title a few times. But a hungry young fighter with a jewelry habit named Clubber Lang accuses him of fighting cream puffs and dodging him. Mick tells Rocky that it's true, because Rocky has gone soft with success and lost the eye of the tiger, baby. Presumably that eye of the tiger was not the one that was about to detach. Mick was right, and Clubber Lang defeats Rocky effortlessly. He even shoves Mickey for extra villain points, and he has a heart attack. And it's a fatal heart attack too, which is the saddest thing. I cry every time I see it. Look at that. Oh my gosh. Apollo steps in to train Rocky with the novel strategy of perhaps not getting hit every time, and it's pretty effective. As a reward, Apollo is given a private rematch with Rocky. You want to know who won? Like and subscribe and I'll tell you. Nah, I'm kidding. I wouldn't do that to you, but you should like and subscribe anyways. Somewhere along here, Apollo fathers an illegitimate child named Adonis. Let's jump to Rocky 4, shall we? Back to riding high on success, Rocky is handing out creepy birthday robots.
Danger, Will Robinson, danger!
Meanwhile, Russia is sending over a Soviet punching machine named Ivan Drago. Drago wants Rocky. Rocky passes, of course, because I would do the same thing. Look at him, he's scary. Apollo accepts the challenge with the greatest fighter entrance ever. Turns out he needed less focus on the entrance and more focus on the not getting pummeled in the ring. Because he dies in the ring, dude, and Ivan Drago doesn't even seem fazed. Imagine if Roman Reigns killed Brock Lesnar in the ring. It would be crazy. It would human sacrifice, cats and dogs living together, mass hysteria. My boss told me not to freak out in videos anymore, so I'm just gonna put my hat on and we're gonna move on. So Rocky and Apollo's trainers go to Russia for the greatest training montage ever, before Rocky does his patented get hit really hard for a while then rallying, which turns the hometown Russian crowd to his side, thus solving the Cold War. Alright, Rocky 5, baby, Rocky 5. The next we see Rocky in his retirement with his own Italian restaurant. A not Don King, but a totally Don King promoter, George Washington Duke, wants Rocky to give his fighter with the inexplicable name of Union Kane a title shot. But Rocky passes. Then he meets someone with an even more out there name of Tommy Gunn. Meanwhile, Duke poaches Gunn, and Gunn also wants a title shot with Rocky in the alleyway. Despite his swollen brain glitching, he wins that fight. 16 years later, Rocky is bored with retirement and applies for a special limited fighting license for a seniors boxing league. It's not clear who he thought he'd be fighting. It turns out the current champ is Mason Dixon. These names. He wants to go because a computer said he'd lose with Rocky in his prime. So beating Rocky as an old man, who hasn't been in the ring in 16 years, will prove that wrong. going the distance once again with Dixon winning in a split decision. Oh, and I forgot to mention that Adrian, his beloved wife, dies of cancer in between. And that's very sad. A decade later, Adonis is fighting matches in Mexico because, like Rocky in the beginning, he couldn't get anyone to take him seriously as a fighter. Needing an opponent, he also decides he gives a nobody a swing. And his promoter finds out that Adonis is the son of Apollo Creed. Adonis gets Rocky himself to train him, and he shocks the world by losing, but going the distance, past his prologue.
I feel like a Kentucky Fried Idiot.
He also gets another shot at the championship against a boxer that laid him out in a fight for his Mustang. So he gets the belt and his Mustang back just in time for Ivan Drago to come back, with his mountain of a son, Victor Drago. Ivan wants Victor to fight Adonis to restore his name in Russia. Victor is a clobbering machine, but also not crazy about being a vessel for his dad to correct his own past. Rocky refuses to train Adonis for the fight against the son of the guy who killed his dad for some reason. And Adonis gets demolished, only for Victor hitting Adonis while he was on his knees, disqualifying him. Victor wants a rematch, naturally. So Rocky trains Adonis in the art of tiring Victor out. And it works, and Creed wins. Oh baby, we did it! We won the fight! We went the rounds! We did the thing! You know, the lyrics of the Eye of the Tiger song. What did you think of the Rocky and Creed timeline, everybody? Let us know in the comments below. And as always, everybody, thank you so much for watching.